But I guess I should probably introduce the show. So I'm Travis.
We just jumped in, man.
That's okay. No, I'll take it. So I'm Travis, and this is Bestie Approved. I'm obviously here without Emma because she literally just had her baby. So that's super fun and exciting. And he's happy, he's healthy, he's perfect, and he's adorable. But I actually have two new podcast friends here, David and Lisa from Outrage Overload. And I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I'm Lisa. I've been a David Beckemeyer wrangler for more years than I'd like to count. But we started our show because we were not having any time to talk to each other. So we started saying, let's start talking, make this time. We're going to talk. What's going on?
And if someone listens, fine.
Great.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm David Beckemeyer. So the show that Lisa and I do together is called This Week in Outrage. The overall kind of media empire, if you will, is called Outrage Overload. And our sort of serious show there, that's a Connors Institute podcast, is called Outrage Overload. And that's the one that where I interview like scientists and like a serious thing. It's the opposite of what we're doing tonight, right? I interview scientists and researchers and practitioners and stuff like that. And we talk about sort of toxic polarization and bridge building and kind of rebuilding our divides and things like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when you reached out to me originally, I think the way you kind of introduced yourself was like you're trying to find some middle ground. And I think right now that's really, really, really what this country needs. So I guess what sparked that idea, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hear it from a lot of people if you go and talk out there to folks, that a lot of people are, just at their kind of wits end of this kind of anger. Like there's this idea of, there was a bunch of research on it. Hidden Tribes, I did some research and kind of came out with this idea of a exhausted majority where like a lot of people are kind of over it with the two parties fighting all the time and kind of not really giving us great options, when that comes up. And so there's this huge majority of people that really don't like either party, don't really like the options. They don't like the vitriol. They don't like the anger and the fighting all the time. But you don't know that they're a majority because their voices have sort of been silenced by these louder voices that really give this perception that everybody is is angry all the time and isn't ready for a conversation and all this kind of stuff. And that those people are out there. Yeah, they exist. I'm not saying that's, it's naive to say they don't exist, but it's a misperception to think that's how everybody is. Once you actually meet real people, they have a lot more gray, like this, not that sort of, I guess, red and blue versus black and white. It's not that clear cut that you're either in that bucket or that bucket. People are kind of thinking about this different ways, but there's all these kind of incentives to drive us into this thinking that the other people are terrible. And then once you get that in your head, because we kind of live in our bubbles and all that, then you just think there's no one out there that on the other side that I can talk to, and they're worse. So it's not my fault, it's their fault, and we just keep it. It's just like a spiral downwards. As you get that kind of mindset going, it gets worse and worse. So I was living in that, like everybody else, right? I was out there getting in Twitter fights,
Sure.
and I was caught in it. I was watching the news and it was getting me mad all the time. And that was like the trigger of the signal that like, this really isn't right. They're just trying to make me mad all the time. Right. It's working. Like I'm just mad all the time. I can't sitting on the couch yelling. Like I can't do anything sitting on the couch yelling. Right. So that's kind of where I came with. I'm kind of a science nerd and a science geek. So maybe there's other people like me that would like to kind of research some of this and see what's out there. So I don't want to do my own research. I'm going to go talk to the people that do the research, right? So I that's kind of what I thought was an interesting way to do it, and I thought a podcast was a good way to do that because you go a little deeper, right? Kind of more than a 2-minute segment. We can talk to somebody for a little bit longer and go a little deeper. And so my role is kind of this guide to kind of bring the researchers that are doing the work and then bring them on and let them present and talk about it, but make it accessible to just anybody that's kind of science curious. You don't have to be a full-on math geek and this kind of stuff. You don't have to know the ways that you do statistics and things like that. You just kind of have some logic and reason and be interested in the science. And so we expose this research that's going on out there in a kind of, funner, more interesting way. Because there was some academic podcasts doing some of this, but they're like 3 hours long, and it's kind of academic to academic, and who wants to listen to that but other academics? And so I thought, maybe make something that would be a little more appealing to a broader audience.
Nice. I love that. It's funny that you bring up like the Twitter fights and everything, because I put this on our list, but there's a tweet that like resurfaces every couple of years, but it's talks about it's someone saying like Azalea Banks is schizophrenic until I agree with her, and then like and then she's like, she's the best voice ever. And it's so funny that like it resurfaced when it did, because like that's exactly how I'm feeling about like Candace Owens right now. Like I'm just like, I truly kind of want to know if there's like any research behind that, like behind like what is going on with like people like Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene, where I'm like, I categorically disagree with everything that comes out of their mouths, but now I'm like, oh, hey, maybe there's something there, and maybe we can find a middle ground there.
We're hopeful, optimistic. I mean, hopeless optimistics with Marjorie. Anytime she says the slightest little thing that we slightly agree with, we go, oh, we're getting her back. She's out there.
So there is this idea kind of in social science that have talked that even political scientists have talked about this as well. Kind of this idea of this kind of renegade character that can play these roles of like they have authority on one side, and so that they can actually sort of point out these criticisms on that side. So and they kind of are like these cross and you'd think we'd have somebody like Liz Cheney would be an example of that, right? Like theoretically, sure. You didn't have anybody that was more sort of trusted and well known in the conservative world. And then she sort of, comes out against Trump, but it doesn't work. Like the whole thing that social scientists said would always work sort of didn't work. But there is this idea of these people that can cross cut like that they have enough sort of cachet on their own side that they kind of, make a point like that and start to, and affect it. I mean, the stuff that Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying, frankly, is exactly the kind of stuff that you want somebody to say. Now, was she going to live up to it? Is she going to live up to it? All that. But, this idea that, she actually said, I'm sorry for being part of the problem. And, and I'm ready to talk across divides and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's what that's the kind of thing these social scientists have been talking about. Somebody that would take that role on. And, so I don't know, it'll be interesting. So again, it's like I hate him until, wow, they're really saying good things now.
Right. Well, and that's the thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene right now, where because when she started coming out and saying all of that, I was like, she wants to get reelected. Like that's what is happening right now. And then she resigns, and I'm like, oh my, was she being serious? Like, was she actually saying that she's sorry? And like, now she's kind of like bowing out of the game because the fallout is going to be that bad.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know the answer to that, because it's like, it's hard to sort of, I don't know. It's hard for me to armchair quarterback this, because I kind of would not be, the resignation in some ways is not a surprise, but how quickly it happened. Like you say,
how can you say that's not a surprise? It's totally a surprise.
Well, once she did this kind of transition, you're like, her path is probably, her path towards future politics is probably being cut off. But like the speed at which that happened, though,
it's being cut off with other politicians. But I think she's going to get the general public behind her.
It's possible. I mean, she could be another populist that builds a populist groundswell kind of, although, there's a lot of now, because of the stuff that, like we see with like these fake accounts and Twitter and X, there's a lot of stuff now saying maybe Trump wasn't as much a groundswell from the ground up as it sort of looks like it is.
Well, that's the thing is I cannot imagine that like MAGA, like as a concept, as this like idea that it's as big as it is. There's no way that like that many people are all in for Donald Trump. And I have to believe that like a lot of what we were like seeing with like the obsession on Twitter probably was part of like what we're kind of like getting confirmation of now, where it's like what's her the daughter Ivanka, like her biggest fan account was based out of Nigeria. Like, come on, Diva. Like,
Nigeria,
yeah. So I think that maybe that it's not really as big as it is. I think you're right.
Well, and also whether it really originated, kind of on the base or on the streets in in these small towns, or whether, this kind of Russian influence or who knows what state actors maybe, kind of started it and then it latched on as a populist movement. And then, because we amplify it, the Russians don't have enough power on their own to do that, or whoever state actor. We did it. Like, it's our fault. Like, we fell for
it. But I do think that I think it was your show that I was listening to, I think with the guy Austin that you guys had on, where what was it? It's like for every one tweet from someone else, like it sparks like 10,000 or something is like the ratio. So like, yeah, they absolutely, if they didn't light the spark, they absolutely lit a few more. So no, right. Yeah, like it's 100% like we're the accountable ones, but
yeah,
like we can do that all by ourselves, I guess. Like,
right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I guess that's part of my, complaint about the whole, well, I mean, the problem is like this goes so deep, right? Because people just are not active civic participants, right? Maybe we've had it easy for too long. I don't know all the reasons for it, but
sure.
We're sort of passive, right? We just let this stuff flow to us. And we don't really take that much of a role in it, and it's kind of funny that we have all these, folks like my show and other people, like a lot of political commentators, and they're talking about all these things and doing and you have all these, political strategists, and they're thinking about all this. Like, most people are not just putting that energy in. Like, they don't watch any news at all or read any news at all, like zero. Like, there's so much research showing the vast majority of people just don't, whatever news they're getting is coming to them sort of passively through other feeds.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think the people that are watching the news are probably watching the most toxic sources. And by the way, on both ends, my audience knows Emma and I are raging, like, borderline socialists in a lot of ways. But like, I can look at both sides, and like, I look at MSNBC and I'm like, oh my God, like, we shut your mouth. Like, please stop talking, because like, you're making us look so bad. And then I look at Fox News and I'm like, I can't believe people believe anything that comes out of their mouths. So I guess, like, I don't think there's a source of information that like is actually like, pure is not the word, but I guess it's like you're not getting really great information that's not designed to be polarizing from anywhere. So yeah.
Right.
Well, I love when people say, "Oh, but I watch Fox News just to see what the other side is saying." I go, no, you're just watching because you're entertained by it.
Well, and that's, there's some, okay, that's fine. But in some sense,
they're not, nobody's doing that.
Most people aren't doing that. But there's a lot of people that talk about that idea that, you need to look at news from both sides or read news from both sides. That's kind of okay. But if you're looking at garbage on both sides, then you're just getting more garbage. Like, you're not actually getting more informed. You can look at it from the perspective of a media analyst and say, what is the media trying to say? Because, like you say, the left-leaning programs and articles and journals and things, kind of both do the same thing. They don't necessarily lie, although you could say people on the side on the right lies maybe a little bit more, but it's mostly not straight out lies. It's more they just kind of leave stuff out and then change the shape of it, right? So that you get more angry because they're kind of leaving some stuff out most of the time. Like a lot of times when you go look at one of these stories that, I don't know, even Marjorie Taylor Greene or something said this thing, or Trump said this thing often, even a lot of times. And then you go look at it a little more and go, well, in context and a little bit more here, it's kind of trumping Trump, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. Some of these things that you can go look at, or some of these other things that are being proposed sometimes. Now, the last 9 months, maybe that's a little different, but there's a lot of these things when you go look at them, if you're looking at the left-leaning version of it, a lot of times it's exaggerated and just because it is trying to get you riled up and trying to get you mad. It's mad, and it's the whole, if it bleeds, it leads, and all that kind of stuff. And so it's all those incentive structures that they know, that they know how human brains work. And we all, whether you're on the left or right, you still have a human brain, and we're all susceptible to all these tactics on us. So there's no, so we all fall for it, and it's a feel good thing, right? Like, we feel morally, superior if we keep seeing these things that show how bad the other side is. So we like it in the moment. It doesn't really help us. Like, we don't sleep better because of it. That stuff, right? And we don't have a better picture of the world or anything, but we feel better in the moment because it kind of justifies that we made the right choice. Look how bad those people are.
I guess. I mean, like, I don't love it, but like, I guess if that's how we're morally justifying it. But one of the things I put on my list, because this kind of like leads me into one of them, and you said Lisa was pretty familiar with this, is a family that like puts themselves on blast. And it's a podcast called The Necessary Conversation. When I put it on the list, I was like, oh, surely they're gonna like know exactly what this is. And you said you weren't super familiar, but Lisa is, and
100% familiar.
I want to know your thoughts on it, because I swear to God, when I first started seeing it, I was like, this is satire. This is not real. And then it's like it's real life. Like, these are real people, and they're like, this is their actual belief. So Lisa, I want to know what you think about this.
Well, I only watch it on Instagram, so I only get the short clips, right? Okay. And so Chad's very good at cutting the most sensational grab your attention clips. But
yes,
if you watch those clips, yes, it's very disturbing how right the parents are, how right wing they are, how much they support Trump. The mom always wears a Trump hat. The dad won't listen to anything. Yeah. I'm kind of saying this for David's benefit, because he doesn't really know. The dad, all he says to the kids is that you're stupid. Both these kids are highly educated people. Yes. I'm not quite sure what Chad does actually, but
he's the daughter, screenwriter for movies.
Okay. So, and, they keep saying the biggest mistake they ever made was letting Chad go to school in California, that ruined him. And
he's indoctrinated.
100%. That's what they say.
All the time.
Constantly. Yeah. And that, you're stupid. You're so stupid. You're idiots. And the dad the dad is the most childish thing you've ever seen. He just is like, I'm not listening to you. You're so dumb. And there was a big gap of time where the dad wasn't in any clips at all on Instagram. He just decided, I'm not doing this anymore. But somehow the mom got it back. And the mom's always wearing a MAGA hat. For Halloween, she dressed up as Melania.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. But I do have to say, I have a little bit of hope for this family. The mom does tell the kids that she loves them. Mm-hmm. She does say, I hate these conversations with you. And I did get this sense that I kept trying to find this clip again, where she says, the only reason I agreed to do this show with you is so that we can have a regular life outside of this. So yes. I think their agreement is that they only speak politics on this show, and they don't speak it in their regular life. And
that is the agreement, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And I say that is bravo for them to be able to do that. But she does say she loves them, although she does say we never made any mistakes as parents. David, have you made any mistakes as a parent?
Of course not.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, our kid was really little. We said, we're going to make a ton of mistakes. We don't know how to raise you. You're the first you we've ever raised. But the dad to me is just so childish, and just he's just there's not going to be anything getting through to him. And I hate. Right. I'm sorry, Travis, if I'm taking over this, but I wanted to get a couple other things out. But I was boohooing in tears when the mom was very upset about the Epstein papers, and Chad was so supportive of like, yeah, Mom, that's really hard, and just let her, because she wants them released. She's convinced that Trump's nowhere near, he's not in them anywhere, and she wants them released, and they weren't getting released, and she was really upset about it. And he let her just kind of vent and not digging on her, which I thought was quite lovely. But she wants all the pedophiles arrested, as we all do. I don't know anybody who doesn't want all the pedophiles arrested.
Well, that was Kash Patel's thing for 10 years.
Okay.
Well, that was Kash Patel's thing. That's Pam Bondi's thing. That's Donald Trump's thing. And like, it's like, I mean, they campaigned on releasing the files, right? And then it's like, now that we're here, it's like, no, we're not gonna. And I'm glad that like that got through Congress, and I'm glad that it was such an astonishingly, like, we're all in on this number. Like, what was it, 427 to 1 in the House, and then it was a unanimous vote in the Senate. So I'm thrilled about that. But yeah, the mom was a school teacher for her entire life. And like that, like she cares about these kids. And like, it's really sad to see like, this is real life. And like for that to become politicized and for her to, I think there's an unwinding process. Like when you're trying to like separate like your, like the political side of it from like the real life implications of what happened to these literal children. And you realize like, I voted for this guy. People say he's in the files. I don't want to believe that. And I can understand like, you know, not wanting to believe that. But this whole idea, this notion of like people running around saying it's the left and the right, it absolutely is. And this whole thing of like people bringing up like, well, what if your favorite celebrity's on the Epstein list? And I'm like, well, first of all, I can tell you Bethany Frankel's not going to show up on that list. But if she is she's not my hero anymore. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. There's a lot of people that in our lives we've had to go, we're not watching that movie ever again. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of my, you know, my Bill Gates flags off my truck.
And I think that's the other thing too, is like, I think MAGA put a lot of eggs in the basket, and I'll come back to the because I think this all relates, but like with the Necessary Conversation podcast, but like I think MAGA put a lot of eggs in the basket of I'm all in on Donald Trump. Like he's my guy. He is my guy. And like this like putting him on the pedestal, I think was the biggest mistake, because it's like we've seen like he could keep moving the goalpost of like what's acceptable. And I think now that we're literally talking about like, is he in the Epstein files? Is this going to be the breaking point? I think this is where you're starting to see a lot of people really reckon with the fact of like, oh, I went all in on a guy that I probably wasn't entirely sure about. And now what do we do with that? I think that's probably a very hard process psychologically to go through, of like separating yourself from that. Cause like in a lot of ways, and I can understand like the charisma and like this whole, like what everything he campaigned on, I can understand him being a heroic figure for a lot of people. Like, not for me, but like, I can understand how he got there. And I think that has to be very, very hard. Like, I sympathize with those people, because it's like you're losing your hero. But when you see it like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when you see it with like this family on YouTube really arguing it out, where you've got the mom who's like, no, there's no way. And I'm like, for her sake, I hope she's right. And then you've got the dad who is just like, Donald Trump's not in those files. I love Donald Trump. He can do no wrong. And like, it's such a bizarre fight to see happening in real life. Cause I'm just like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here?
Yeah. And to see her being really upset too about the mass deportations, she was not happy about that. And I think that's also when her husband backed out, because he just was going to stick with, I'm going to back up.
They broke the law, so blah blah blah. They deserve everything they get, kind of thing.
They're here illegally, you know. And then, but you know, they're trying to explain to him, well, there's citizens that are being rounded up.
And also it's a misdemeanor, by the way, to violate the border crossing.
Right. But anyway, so, I mean, I think that they have given, you know, she just does not want the mass deportations or ICE. She's not happy with ICE's job, but she's still very much a Trump supporter. I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, you know, I was going to say, like, this
Sorry,
is,
Travis.
you know, if we get it, I don't want to totally get us bogged down by the sort of sciencey, you know, political science, other kind of stuff. But, you know, I mean, this is kind of what has happened over the last, you know, 30 or 50 years, kind of depending on how you measure, but especially the last, you know, 25 or 30 years, that this wasn't always like this, right? We didn't, our political identity wasn't this salient in our lives like it is now. Like, it's the first thing we kind of want to know about somebody now and this kind of stuff. And, you know, should I listen? That wasn't like that 30 or 40 years ago. And so this has been, you know, a slow thing to kind of build that up. And you know, and and I think if you do like the Robert Putnam and the sort of bowling alone stuff and all that, somehow political ideology is sort of taken over for this kind of tribal nature that humans want. And it is very hard now. So if you think about like the dad or even the mom, even if she is to the point where I don't like this or I don't like that, where does she go? Like the left isn't going to sort of, she can't see the left as an option.
No,
right?
she's still
Right.
100% Trump.
Yeah. So, and they wouldn't take her anyway, right? They know you're a bad person because you supported him before and this kind of stuff. So, it's tough because where are you going to go? Like there's no, it's almost like the box into a corner thing. Like I don't have a good option. So I'm going to just I have to double down, I guess, And so some of it is that like, we just don't have, a good pathway for people to like, you know what? Like your guy's not great. My guy's not great either. Let me tell you.
Right.
Right. We have problems too.
Yeah. Well, and that's really the most interesting thing. Like when you, I guess not the most interesting thing, but it's such a big deal to people, I think, because like and you say it really happened over the last like 30, 40 years. And I think it's because like the last 30, 40 years have been like literally fighting over like, well, this party wants you to have rights. This party doesn't. I know that's not what every political thing is about, but you've got like, I mean, something that's very real for me is marriage equality. And you have people on the fringes of the far right. I know it's not most of the right. It's overwhelmingly like accepted and like not even thought about in most of the United States. But you've got the fringes of the far right like being lit on fire by the Heritage Foundation that are like, we need to repeal gay marriage. Like we need to pull that back. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's not going to stop with me. So like, I think it's so important to people because it's like, oh, you voted for this guy. You don't want me to have rights. And I think I can see how people get there, but like, I'm just like, I know that my family is overwhelmingly conservative and right leaning in a lot of areas. I know they're not voting for the Republican Party because they don't want me to have rights. And I think that's a thing people have a hard time separating.
Yeah. And, and that's that's actually a very interesting topic too, because, it's one of those ones where, I mean, it's one of the things that Trump was able to really appeal to, particularly in the beginning there, 2015 timeframe, 2016 timeframe, this idea that, culture had sort of pushed, like they were losing the culture wars kind of thing. Right. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of funny that people could simultaneously kind of say, I don't really have a problem with gay marriage, but damn it, why did we let that, why did gay marriage happen? Like that's, but I actually don't have, like I personally don't have a problem. I even know like my family, like I have members of my family that are like, but I still have like this weird kind of, I'm opposed to this idea because it's like attacking me at this kind of cultural, it's like a place I lost the war. And it's like a place where Trump was so good with that language of, we're going to win, and they understood what that meant. I think most of the rest of us didn't even know what that meant. Right. But it's stuck with that group because they're like, yeah, we've been losing for so long. We've been losing for 20 years. We lost this, we lost that, we lost that. And, and I think that's a place where there's so much room to kind of, let's come to the table because you actually aren't concerned about this. So why is it bothering you so much? And that's a conversation like we've never been good at because people immediately start, oh, you don't like it, so therefore you're a bad person and blah, blah, blah. And we don't find this way to kind of overcome that like thing that's like pretty obvious. Like you actually aren't concerned about it, but you are concerned about it at the same time. And it just talks about this whole identity and this winning and losing, kind of black and white, winners and losers kind of mindset that's happened where my side needs to have these 3 wins and every win that your side gets is a loss to me. Whereas like, that's an example of who loses in that, right? There's no winners and losers there.
Right.
Well, that's something that I will spiral over because it's like, and it comes into this whole conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion and how like Donald Trump and like all these guys, like anytime they hate something, they immediately label it woke and it's like, it's DEI and I hate it and like whatever. And then you see like, you really start to see people saying, well, like, we have diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in so many places in the country. And that must be why I'm disadvantaged. And I'm like, I I don't think you get what diversity, equity, inclusion means if you think you're disadvantaged in any way. But that's not a fight I'm going to win anytime soon with people. But like you really see it in like where, you know, Target was the big one where they said, okay, we're going to roll back our diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, and their entire business model is just like on fire around them. And they're like, when I put it in these notes, but like they laid off like 1,800 people, and then they blame it on their processes being too complex. And I'm like, you just have to take the loss and admit when you messed up. Like, that's like, Diva, you have got to figure this out, because like, I cannot imagine that there's not someone sitting in a boardroom in Minneapolis where Target is based saying, hey, do you guys remember when we were for the girls and the gays and the theys, and we were doing really, really great, and people just like showed up to spend hundreds of dollars at a time, and then we like made this fun little announcement, and then like they stopped. Like the fact that they're not publicly making this connection is so insane to me.
Yeah, they used to have a really great on Pride Month. They had some great products that came out. I'm like, I always get a little excited. Go, oh, they're going to come out with all their Pride stuff. It's really cool. And then when they said, oh, we're not doing this anymore, it's like, yeah, I don't think I've been into Target since then.
I don't think we have.
I don't think. I truly think that was like. And then you're like, DEI is a sore spot with me, because like you said, Travis, nobody really knows what that is. They just think that it's bad for white Christians, and it should be bad for white Christians, by the way. But, it's like, you don't even know what that is. Do you know who benefited the most for DEI? And they're like, oh, no, it's just all those Asians. And I'm like, what Asians?
Ew.
What are you talking about? Yeah. What are you talking about? No, white women are the ones who benefited the most. But then again, MAGA wants women back in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant.
Well, is MAGA on that path?
The trad wife.
The trad wife thing, yeah. But I thought those were a little bit separate. I don't know if that's a one-to-one match.
Like we've discovered, the trad wife is more of a porn addiction.
Well, it's got its aspect to it.
What?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I know. I was surprised. I did an episode. I basically ended up doing these episodes that ended up being a series, right? I initially started with kind of the trad wife, homeschooling, homesteading stuff. And that was kind of episode 1 in this series. And then I did, the young men leaning to the right versus young women leaning to the left, right? And sort of the Gen Z particularly. And so we did an episode about that. And then I did that as a kind of follow-up. The third one is kind of the manosphere one, because manosphere kind of kept coming up in both those other two. So it's like, well, I better go try to figure out what the manosphere even means. So then I did that manosphere episode. So yeah, so I did this episode on Tradwife, and that's where I learned it. And like, once I talked to one of these experts about it, and they were talking about that there's this kind of a porn side to it, that like there's this whole fetishy Tradwife thing going on. I'm like, oh, now that you mention it, that makes perfect sense. Right. Of course there is, but it didn't occur to me until I said it. Right?
No, Travis is not going to sleep now for a week.
But it's like, we talk all the time. Like, if there's a thing, there's a porn version of it.
Of course there is. Yeah. But just even those, all those women, cooking and sitting with all the kids screaming and all that.
Flowing dresses and
100% turn on fetish.
Yeah, there's a fetish for that, for sure.
Yeah. Show me your feet.
I mean, I'm not here to kink shame anyone, but like,
no, of course not. Yeah, of course not. But when you're trying to frame it as a, this is the way the life should be. Women should not have a vote. The vote should be for the household, and the man will do that. And women should be home having kids, as many kids as possible. It's pretty gross.
And for women that want to do that, great. Like, that's your choice.
No, that's your family, fine. Yeah, no, 100%.
But
that's
like
fine.
Making all women do that is where we're talking about, like, drawing the line.
Yeah, but are you okay? I would like to talk to a woman who's okay giving up her vote and letting her husband vote.
I don't know. You see them online talking about it. Again, I don't know how real that is. What big of a percentage
I'm also saying, if you're doing it online, you're not a trad wife. This is your way to be seen. This is your introduction to
influencer.
You know what? There's going to be the real trad wives of, I don't know, whatever.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened
Andy
yet.
Cohen's got that lined up already.
Hasn't that already kind of happened? Isn't there a
The
show like that?
Tradwives?
Is there not something like that already? I'm amazed that hasn't happened.
No, PBS did the 1800 House.
Yeah, yeah, they did that.
They also did the, what was it? Sister Wives, where that's kind of, but like at the same time, like that devolved pretty quickly into seeing like what the cracks in those marriages are. But like so here's the thing about the trad wife thing though. Like if you truly believe, like as a woman, your experience is that you want to like be a mother and you want that to be like your sole identity, I want you to do that. Like that's the cool thing about all this is like you have the choice to do all of it. And I think when you get into this area where like the Heritage Foundation is like, no, this is what must be promoted. This is like what we need to push. And this is the agenda. And you literally write it down in Project 2025. I'm like, oh, you don't want women to actually have rights. You like that's always been such a bizarre thing to me. Like in most areas of life, I'm like, I don't care how anyone lives their life. That's truly none of my business. As long as everyone involved is on board and like they're doing what they want to do. I don't care what your family looks like. I don't get it.
Safe and healthy. That's all I care.
Yeah. Like whatever.
Everybody's in agreement. Everybody's safe. Everybody's lives, that's fine. You should do you, boo.
Yeah, and that's the thing where you've got the Heritage Foundation, and then Turning Point USA was the other big one where they're literally writing down on paper, like, this is the way we want people to live their lives. That is strange to me. I don't get that.
Yeah. Well, and I will say I will say that like the DEI thing is another example of this idea of that. I think the left often kind of forgets that, we think about like political power, and sometimes the right, it sometimes seems like they have more political power here and there. But from the right's perspective, like they feel like they are excluded, that the left has all this cultural power, right? Like the left is kind of, to them, taking over academia, taking over Hollywood, is taking over, education from their perspective. And so, and so they feel like they have to go and assert themselves in those realms, and I think DEI is kind of part of that. They kind of attached, again, like Lisa says, DEI means whatever somebody wants it to mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of where it comes from. Like, so I had to call this person they. It's like, screw that. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, and that whole conversation where people are screaming about like, I don't want to do that. Then don't. You don't have to. Right. But like you cannot force an entire population of people to get on board with like your notion of what the perfect family is or what the perfect religion is. Like, that is so strange to me. Like, how we started versus how we got here. I'm like, Diva, like, do you not, you're losing the plot.
Well, and a couple times you've mentioned rights. Like I've heard the term rights a few times, and sometimes when we use those kind of words, you have to be careful, because like if you say, for like a person on the right, they think they're defending the Constitution to support Donald Trump and do a lot of this other stuff, right? They think they're the ones defending rights, and it's the left trying to take the rights away. So a lot of this is how people interpret this language and words. I had a conversation with somebody on the right that wrote a whole piece about charisma and how the left falls for charisma all the time. And conservatives never fall for charisma. What? And I'm like, isn't Donald Trump like a counter argument to this? Like a counter, point of this? And he's like, well, no, because Trump's not charismatic because he's kind of crude or whatever. It's like, okay, so we're just defining words the way we want to define them now, right? And so, and I think it's a good point. It's like, that's what we all do. Like, this guy did it, but I mean, I'm sure I could have taken one of his paragraphs, kind of neutralized it, so you didn't know if he was talking about Trump or somebody else, or a left person or a right person. And you would have handed it to a bunch of people, and a bunch of people on the left and say, well, this is 100% about Trump, right? And probably some people on the right would have said, well, that's 100% about, I don't know, Mamdani or Obama. So it's just like, it's just how we look at things. We see what we want to see in this stuff. And so it can be a real problem when we just don't interpret the words the same way.
I have a problem giving Trump credit for coming up with all this. He's someone's pawn. He didn't come up with this.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think he does have an intuition for it, though. He did, I think, see like a missing piece, and none of the, he simplified things, and he figured, he's simple, I guess, right? I mean, he sees it simple, and most people see it simple. So he was able to say stuff in simple ways to say the thing he wanted to hear. And I think all these strategists are just overthinking it.
Oh, 100%. Well, and I think the best way I've heard it described is Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line. Like Republicans are going to show up and vote for Republicans no matter what. Democrats have a tendency to fall in love with their candidate. Like, you could not tell me like that Barack Obama, and granted there's room for criticism there, but you couldn't tell me that Barack Obama was not the greatest president that ever walked the face of the earth. And I was just mad that like I wasn't 18 when it was the time for the first vote for him.
Jesus, he's that young. Oh my God.
If it makes you feel better, I'm lying about my age like now. Okay. So like we've moved a little bit away from there. That's fine. Like I support everyone's right to lie about their age. But I think Donald Trump really found his niche in I can make the right fall in love too. Like, so I think what we're seeing is probably just the pendulum swinging so far, because it's like, oh, well, we've been falling in love with people for so long, but like the right didn't really have a guy to fall in love with. Like I looking back, like I can't think of any figure on the right that is truly just like as charismatic as Donald Trump is. It's like as messy as he is. It's like, and like, this is the thing is like, if he wouldn't have gotten involved in politics, and I've said it a million times, I would love the guy. Like if I think back to like 2014 being in New York, if I would have ran into him at a party, like I know exactly how it would have gone. He would have been holding court with like a bunch of people. Like he would have been having a time because he's messy and he's funny and he's kind of a disaster, but it's a car crash you can't look away from. And I just wish he would have like harnessed that in a different way. That's just all there is to it.
I disagree a little bit. I think just because he wasn't in politics, he has been misogynistic forever, and we've just overlooked it because he was a nobody. But if he was in a party and told me that, yeah, I'm going to go check on the girls in the dressing room at the pageant, I would be fucking horrified.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. Like,
yeah,
that's fair.
And I think that those comments were kind of just whatever. That's just Trump being Trump. He's a nobody. Forget that. He's just going to sell some steaks and water and airlines. It's all going to go underground anyway. But I think that if we knew then what we know now, oof.
I think you're upset.
I think he would be, I'm using quotes, canceled.
Canceled. Yeah.
He was canceled by the Village Voice like 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I was looking at it from the perspective of like, he's like a drag queen. Like, I guess I didn't think about like the things that we know he said at the time.
Now we're talking about something totally different. Well, I would love to see him as a drag queen.
It would be funny as a drag queen.
I would pay good money to see that.
But, I think of Trump differently, right? Because I see him, I think he's sort of so broken as a human. I kind of see him as almost like an alien that's going through life kind of pretending to, like, this is almost like ChatGPT. Like, this is the way a human would talk, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's...
kind of.
Like, who even says, what a weird turn of phrase, grab him by the pussy. Have you ever met anyone in your entire life, even somebody crude, that would use that weird turn of phrase? Just, like I said, sometimes he just feels like he's a machine that's trying to sometimes pretend to be human.
And all this stuff, and like, see that 10-year-old, I'll be dating her in 10 years, or see the, my daughter, my daughter is so freaking gorgeous, and I would love to date that. And just the stuff that we've heard.
And then he has these weird, like, little moments of like self awareness where it's like, I guess I'm probably not going to heaven, right? Weird stuff like that.
Well, and then he turns around and he's like, quiet piggy.
Yeah.
No, but what's his obsession with heaven right now? What does he think heaven?
I don't know.
What does he think heaven is?
I don't know.
I feel like heaven is something like Stefan from Saturday Night Live. Go see heaven.
It's got wombats in the corner, dancing wombats. It's got everything.
Are you old enough to know who Stefan is from Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
No.
you gotta look that up on YouTube. Get some clips of Stefan. It was basically in the, you know how the you may not even know this much about Saturday Night Live, but Saturday Night Live has like the news segment, right? Like they have the people at the desk, and Stefan would be one of the people that would come on, and he would give, the hot tips for what to do in New York City. What's the hot club in New York City?
Yes. Okay, like I never knew his name. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And so, and the one of the things about that skit is that he didn't know what he was going to say. Like the writers give him cards in the moment.
I love that.
He didn't know. So that's why he was cracking up so much all the time, because he would read these cards and then he'd say
and then they started making they started scripting that like Mad Libs. So they would just sit in the writings. They wrote it all out, but then they'd say, okay, we just
fill in a blank.
Fill it. We're going to do a Stefan fill in. I need a adjective. I need a animal. I need a noun. I need, so even the writers, they wrote the basic script, but then they would Mad Lib it in, and then that's what they would give him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's what I think. That Trump doesn't even know what heaven is. What is? I mean,
right.
What does he really think he's
not a deep thinker. I mean, he's not a deep thinker.
And don't forget, Pope John Paul said that don't be an asshole. Everybody gets to go to heaven. Just don't be an asshole.
Didn't he retract that?
No, he did not.
I don't know.
But the Catholics lost their fucking mind.
Oh, yeah. They were not happy about that.
No, they were not happy. You've got to tithe more if you want to go to heaven.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I guess I don't know. The long and short of it is Donald Trump is a case that I don't think we're ever going to solve as a nation. And like at most we have 3 more years with him. So yay. Your holidays might be chaotic, but your bed doesn't have to be. I'm really into Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets right now. They are ridiculously soft and they'll keep you cool all night. Oprah and Kris Jenner are both huge fans, and you'll see why. You get a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, so you really can't go wrong. Dear listener, right now, you all get 41% off of anything on their website. Just go to CozyEarth.com and use the code BESTIE at checkout. That's CozyEarth.com. Code BESTIE. Okay, besties, I found your new favorite shirt. Hypernatural makes incredibly comfortable polos and t-shirts that are made better by nature. These shirts are designed with jadestone fibers to help keep you cool, and they were called the best men's polo shirts of 2024 by Men's Journal. You can grab yours now at hypernaturalstyle.com. Use code BESTIE at checkout for 20% off of anything on the site. That's hypernaturalstyle.com. Code BESTIE.
In some ways, I would like to see in 100 years how history is going to reflect on this.
Yeah, I know, because you
I think about that a lot.
I don't want to live for 100 years.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine like some character from 100 years ago, somebody that was living through it would look at how historians talk about it now. They're like, oh man, they got that wrong.
That's true, but it's so many ways. Go ahead.
I want to know, I think I have thought about that a lot. Like, how are we going to talk about like COVID and Black Lives Matter and like things that have real impacts? And it's like, are we going to whitewash it, or are we going to like truly learn from our mistakes of doing that with like the civil rights movement and everywhere we went wrong, and say, no, we have to be honest about that? Because I think this is on a societal level, I think we have to start being very honest about like, yeah, it's okay to admit we messed up. Like, this American exceptionalism thing is not getting us very far.
Yeah. And I think that, right. And I think the Democrats still haven't really figured out what the takeaways are from this whole last 10 years.
Well, we tried to start doing that. I mean, Columbus Day was pre-Trump. We were getting away from Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For obvious reasons. And
right. Even like nobody likes, even Spain, like and Portugal don't like Columbus. Like, nobody likes Columbus.
Right. And but it's also, so we were getting away from that and getting more of the real story. And then here he comes, and now Columbus Day is back with a vengeance.
I think that's such a bizarre hill to die on. Like, you truly can't handle it being called Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, you cannot handle that idea. And so what attachment do you have to Christopher Columbus? Like, right. I don't understand.
The attachment he has is that side has is that the other side says, don't be stupid.
Well, I guess it's part of that whole culture war nostalgia thing.
Yes.
They feel like it's another place they're losing the culture war and losing
Can I just tell you, I've never felt nostalgic about Christopher Columbus or Columbus Day. Right. Like, I've never felt a sense of pride around it. Like, that is a bizarre thing to me.
I'd rather they call it Tony Soprano Day, because then I would be way behind it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Right. I mean, the whole story is like, who even decided to make that a story? It's such a wacky story anyway. Who came up with that mythology?
I love how creative we get with history. Like, I think it's just such a fun thing that we do. Like, also, speaking of history, because this kind of is a perfect segue into like one of my last topics. Have you guys seen the timeline on the White House website of like the history of like the building of the White House?
You know, I hadn't seen it until you brought it to my attention, but yeah, I did look it over.
What are your thoughts?
This is so bizarre. Like, to me, like, what are they really doing? Like, you know, I mean, for one thing, I mean, Trump does like this idea that if I put my crimes out there in public, like, then they're okay, right? If I just say I'm going to do it, it must be fine. Like, no one says, well, it must not be illegal because he put it on a website. But so there's that side of it, maybe. But like, What is this whole thing anyway? Like, is it? What is it? I mean, I guess it could be as, you know, Occam's razor kind of. It's just the grift, right? It's like a new way to grift. I don't know. It could be legacy, like he wants to do some kind of legacy there. But I feel like the whole thing is not about a ballroom at all. Like, I feel like there's something else going on here that none of us know about.
Well, so Lisa, did you see the link that I put in the notes?
I'm sorry, I did not, Travis.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So I'll just for a little breakdown. So on the White House website, they have like a timeline of like the history of events, and it starts out pretty normal with like, we built the White House, and then we had the fire in the War of 1812, and then we rebuilt the White House, and then like we added the East Wing and we added the West Wing, and then it gets to the Obama administration, and they're like,
because that jumps way forward.
Well, to be fair, they do have like 9 pages of like history, and then it's like after the Rose Garden being installed, it jumps to like the Obama administration. It's like Barack Obama invited the Muslim Brotherhood into the White House, and that was just really, really bad. They're terrorists. Like, it literally says this on the website, and then it goes into I'm sorry. The one right before that is Bill Clinton had his affair in the Oval Office. And then it jumps to a picture of Hunter Biden falling asleep in the bathtub. It's that picture that's been all over the internet. And it's like, hey, we found cocaine in the White House. This must have been Joe Biden's son. Like, and then it's
well, you know, I want to say also that they do this jump too, right? I mean, they go from, and they kind of act like, well, this just is a normal flow, right? But if you look at, like, they talk about the total quote unquote reconstruction that was done with Truman, right? So that was 1948, and then they jumped to 1970, right? They don't really notice that, that was a long time. It's a pretty big gap. But also, like, they don't talk at all about how that Truman reconstruction was like, the place was running down, and also there was a huge, like, they put Truman as like Truman did it, but really that was a whole effort by the whole, like, historical, I don't know all the names, technical names of all these groups that do this kind of architecture, you know, this heritage architecture kind of stuff of DC. I mean, Truman was just happened to be the president at that time. It wasn't like his project. This was like, you know, a huge, I mean, you know, these other groups and these outside, you know, experts that kind of worry about this history beyond one president worked on that project. And then they kind of jumped, like you say, these other things that are like, what does the Bill Clinton, you know, Monica Lewinsky thing have to do with rebuilding the White House? That's super weird.
Well, that to me is like, why are you so obsessed with owning the left? Like, why is that your entire personality? And why is that what you're going to put on the website? And then it's like, okay, so you have, I think one of the last items on the timeline was the Trans Visibility Day of Awareness, where the trans woman took her top off on the White House lawn. And I'm like, did you include the shaman on January 6th that was running around without a shirt on because you really wanted to obsess over someone not wearing a shirt? Like, I don't understand why you're not including your side in that. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, politics is messy and I get that, but it's like you were literally taking like one of the most iconic legacies of like a building, right? And being so gross about it. Like, I don't like this idea that like someone in the Trump administration was like, yeah, let's put this on the website. Like, I don't get it.
Right. I mean, they could have clearly had a whole bunch of, if they wanted to, like, they switched from this idea of literally kind of construction around the White House to this, like, you know, scandals around the White House. Like, if they were going to switch to historical events that were significant, there's all kind of things, you know, different signings, you know, there was different treaties signed and stuff like that you could put in this list, right? But yeah, then they picked this weird thing with Bill Clinton, the Muslim Brotherhood. And then I love the photo of Hunter Biden in the bathtub with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
My God.
You know, but it's this shit that they pick is ridiculous. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you're an explicit website. You might have to bleep that.
Yeah, no, it's every episode's explicit. I've called Christy Nome the C word on my podcast before. It's fine.
You know, and then the other thing about it is once you get, if it's supposedly a timeline, the other thing is like, you know, this stuff starts to accelerate a lot, right? You get all these things, like I said, one bullet is 20, 30 years apart. And then you get to this end and it's like 2025, 2025, 2025, 2025, 2025, 2025. It's like all this stuff that he's done in the last, you know, 9 months or whatever, right? It's like he just compresses it all and talks about how wonderful it is. Yeah. I mean,
they're so wonderful and they're so good at everything. They're just really, really good. Like it's exhausting. Like,
who's doing this website? Who's he hiring to do this website?
I assume Caroline Levitt's brother or something. I don't know.
Right? Caroline Levitt's kid? I don't. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't.
I mean, like you say, this could be an Onion website. Like once you start switching into the Bill Clinton scandal and everything that goes after that, this could 100% be the Onion who put this website together.
And they're so unserious. Like that's the thing is like, I'm just like, Diva, you're the president of the United States. Like this is a .gov website. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And to Lisa's point, he just doesn't get that. Like he doesn't get the significance of that.
He doesn't get that he is the president of all of the United States. He thinks he's president just of the MAGAs.
Right. And, well, he's president of whoever likes him that week. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and if you say something he doesn't like, he's going to call you piggy or dumb or stupid or fake news.
Or pull your broadcasting license or sue you. Like whatever. Like.
Yeah, it is crazy. This is the world we're in now. That this is, you know, and like you guys were talking about the history. What will history look back at this? And you're like, I'm just hoping we look back at this and go, what were we thinking? Like, how did we let this happen?
I hope so.
When you think about the dumbness, like this is literally, you know, idiocracy, right? I mean, this is like idiocracy didn't even go this far.
No. But I've wrote all of my topics. I feel like I have one last thing, but I want what's on your guys' list? I want to hear all of your stuff.
What do you have, Lise?
Oh, all of our stuff?
No, just say.
Oh, by the way, me and my brother have decided the C word's not bad, and we used it all weekend.
Yes.
Be European, like, right? Be English. Just like say it all the time.
Right?
Or I think the Aussies do it too. I don't think they're bothered by that word.
No, they're not bothered at all. Gay guys have taken back that word too. We scream it constantly. So, yeah.
I know. Now I just feel so liberated where I can call my brother the C word.
Yeah,
proud of you.
And not say, "Hey, you C word,"
but in a fun way.
In a fun way. Right? Oh my God, I love you, cunt. Yeah. Let's see. What do I have on my list? We're in California.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Newsom. So I always like to talk about one of Newsom's trolls against Trump, which are just magical.
Yes.
Even though we don't.
Yes.
we're not lovers of Trump, but I do love that. I do love that he's just going for it and gonna just give it back to him every single time. What was the one that you need to? Lately, it was like you need to dress appropriately on the airplane.
Oh,
what are you talking about? What do you mean I have to dress appropriately on the airplane? I have
that
clothes
was also on my list. Yeah,
yeah, and then. And
international flights, man. I'm putting my sweats on and I'm ready for a nap.
Oh,
what are you
man,
talking about?
Our son was horrified when we did an overnight flight and you and I showed up in pajamas and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, you're gonna wish you had your pajamas on too. But and then he shows a picture of freaking RFK Jr., the head of our health, walking around an airplane barefoot. That's fucking disgusting.
That's gross.
RFK Jr. is a gem, man. I gotta tell you,
the gift that keeps on giving.
That's another one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, is this satire? Like this can't be real. Like, oh, you think beef tallow is an actual, like, okay, you're all in on beef tallow. You think vaccines cause autism. Like, you're not a real person. Like, I'm convinced of that.
Wait, you're in Kentucky now, and you've had 3 children die from
measles.
No, not measles. Whooping cough, right?
Oh,
because they're not vaccinated. 3 unvaccinated kids died in Kentucky.
That's amazing.
Whooping cough.
Isn't Kentucky also where the Ark is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Noah's Ark experience. That's a real highlight too.
Have you done that? Have you done that yet? You could probably
learn. I'm actually in Indianapolis. Most of my family is from Kentucky, though. Like, I still have a ton of family that lives in Kentucky. No, I've never partaken in the Noah's Ark experience.
Indy's a cool town.
Yeah, of course. And then Megyn Kelly is also the other gift.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. We're talking about like anything Trump does is okay. Now we're like kind of coming up these weird definitions of where you draw the line.
Yeah.
With pedophilia.
That's the thing is, like, Megyn Kelly had the real opportunity to have the world eating out of the palm of her hand after the whole Fox News fallout situation. And Lord have mercy. You want to talk about someone who squandered an opportunity, like that's rough.
And it gets more disgusting when she has a 15-year-old daughter.
Yeah,
it does. And that's, I think part of the problem is she is one of these people. She's similar to Tucker Carlson in this way, where I don't think she thinks before something comes out of her mouth. And like, she's just talking and talking and talking and talking. Cause like when I watched the clip, I was like, oh, this is where she realized what came out of her mouth and she started walking it back.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the fact that it came out of your mouth lets me know, like, oh, you're willing to move the goalpost for Trump in this scenario. Everything that comes out of your mouth is completely irrelevant to me now. I'm like, it's not a conversation I'm willing to participate in. I can't, like, that's disgusting.
And why is she all in on Trump? He threw her out a long time ago. He tossed her to the curb.
Yeah, that loyalist thing is something that's never made sense to me. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's the one that's always been a challenge for me too, particularly these powerful people that, like, they know they're going to get, I mean, I guess it's the power that is driving it. Like, they just want to stay in power somehow and stay in the power circle or whatever. But like, historically, like, he screws everyone over eventually. And
yeah,
it's the classic, the leopard's not going to eat my face off.
I can't believe the leopards ate her face. Like, and that's like, I guess, like, I to what end? And I'm like, if you really take someone who has done this kind of well, it's Kamala Harris, where she's been very honest about her relationship with Joe Biden, and she still likes the guy, and that's all well and good. Like, she's gone on the book tour and talked about, like, yeah, like we fought a lot, and at the end of the day, like, I still respect him, but like, our relationship is complicated. And I think like, you just have to be honest about it. Like, these people that are so delusional about this notion of Donald Trump can do no wrong, I simply will never understand that, because I'm like, we've watched him turn on one of his most vehement supporters in Marjorie Taylor Greene. And you know what's interesting is like the left hated Marjorie Taylor Greene for what? She was in Congress for five years and hated her the entire time. MAGA hates her for 2 weeks and she's had to hire security.
Yeah.
Well, now she knows what it's like. She has a little taste of what she was dishing out.
Yeah. Well, it's part of that whole, the left is the violent side, right? I mean, we talk ourselves into
the
these
lunatic
ideas.
left. Yeah.
The radical left.
Yeah. And we have to kind of get out of using this kind of language.
No, of course we do. Of course we do.
It doesn't represent anyone real.
Oh, sorry. Say it again.
I was just saying it doesn't represent anyone real. Like, it's all just a caricature of this idea that doesn't really exist.
No, it doesn't. But what I do want to, because Lisa mentioned it, Sean Duffy telling people to dress up for flights. Like, when he came out and said what he said about travel, I thought that was the most wild concept anyone has. Like, you were really brave in this economy right now to start talking about what people need to do on flights. Like, I have to tell you, I will show up to the airport in joggers and like a Lululemon t-shirt. And like, that is the best you're getting out of me. I'm not interested in like interacting with anyone. I'm not interested in this whole notion that like, we have to be kind to like other travelers. Like, no, you are insane.
Well, I'm not there. I'm not there to, make new friends. I need to get to my, my destination, but I want you to be clean. Just be clean. I don't want you to show up in the joggers and Lululemon shirt you've been working out in all weekend.
And no one wants to hear your music either, so you can keep that in your headphones.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna be so for real with you. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna. Well, no, like that's for me though. Like, I'm just like, I have my headphones in. I'm not paying attention to anything that's going on around me, and like these issues that people run into at the airport, I'm like, these are self-inflicted issues. Like, if people can mind their own business for the most part, like we're probably going to be cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, everybody's got their quirks. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. We're all good.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I just want you to be showered when you come. I don't want to sit next to you if you haven't showered in a while.
Showering is helpful. Like, I cannot imagine, unless you're a sociopath, you're showing up to the airport without a shower. Like,
yeah. And like I say, I don't care what you're wearing. Just be clean.
Yeah. But stay in your zone though a little bit. Like, don't use up all the space.
Sure, but that comes with minding your own business. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to like read my book. I'm going to play on my iPad. I'm going to take a nap, and I'm not going to bother anyone. But like, I do want to know, when Sean Duffy like got on the TV and said what he was saying about like, we need to bring civility back to flying. Who was that for? Who were you doing that for?
Yeah, I do want to know that. Who's the audience for that?
He had some sort of encounter the day before that he didn't like. Some girl probably was wearing a very small t-shirt and it was too distracting for him. And so he wants her to wear more clothes. That's what it is.
Could be.
Even if that's not what it is, that's what I believe it is.
Well, we used to go to a lot of trade shows and stuff. And out here we have like these shows like Comdex and these other ones in Vegas, right? And often they overlap with like some big porn awards thing. So you'd fly in and out of Vegas and there's like all the, porn stars are there on the plane. Yeah. Where almost nothing.
Right. Well, because they're going straight from the plane to work.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we go straight to the plane to the trade show floor. We did that all the time.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And
there was definitely people on the plane that were not comfortable with that.
No.
I found it just kind of entertaining.
I'm also like, good for these girls. They're going straight to work, man. Whatever.
Good for them. I love that.
They're not the ones making the problem. You are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like you say, it's self-inflicted.
Right. Yeah. There is. What do you have, honey?
But yeah.
Oh, I've covered my stuff. I'm all good.
Cool. Lisa, did you have anything else?
I got I could go on forever. I got a long list of shit. we can go on forever just on the housewives themselves, and I don't even watch it anymore.
I got to tell you, that's something, if you've ever listened to my show, that is something that I will talk about to no end. And like, I do get the argument that they're not great people in a lot of cases, like you were saying earlier, but it's something that like I've had to like really grapple with, where like Jen Shaw is getting out of prison, and like she went to prison for literally defrauding vulnerable elderly people out of like their social security checks, and I'm like, can I still watch her on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City if she does come back? And like, I think that is a very fair assessment, where it's like you can make the argument of separating the art from the artist in a lot of cases, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could separate that. I think that's very fair, Lisa.
Yep, because you're actually paying her. Your time is money for them. Your eyes are money for them. So you're actually paying her. She doesn't deserve your money. I'm just telling you, Travis.
I would argue that she didn't deserve like all the old people's money.
Exactly.
She deserved that less. Yeah.
You can always watch Love After Lockup or 90 Day Fiance. Those are good shows. There's nothing wrong with those.
Listen, I'll watch 90 Day Fiance all day long, and like Love After Lockup is something like during COVID I got deep into that show. So
that's so funny, because we got deep into like some very bizarre documentaries. Not only, of course, Tiger King, everyone got involved in that, but
love Tiger King.
So of course you watched Chimp Crazy, right?
No, what was Chimp Crazy?
Okay. It's made by the same people.
Okay.
Where this lady hid a chimp from PETA. Actually a very large chimp. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would enjoy it. And it's also a lot of, my monkey's not going to tear my face off.
Right.
And there are some faces that have been torn off. But
beautiful.
Yeah. So Chimp Crazy was another one, and Don't Fuck with Cats. Those are the style of documentaries we got into at COVID.
I love that. Speaking of the Tiger King,
Don't Fuck with Cats, right?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Speaking of Tiger King, yes.
Speaking of Tiger King, he's an interesting case because he's the one that's been like begging Donald Trump for a pardon. And it would appear that Donald Trump will pardon literally anyone except for the Tiger King.
And why? And why? Because the Tiger King, I don't know why he wouldn't pardon him, because he would get a lot of publicity.
I don't know. Like that, that was the thing though, is he had a limo waiting outside of his jail, for waiting for that pardon. And they were like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
How unfortunate. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. They don't see some political advantage to it. Cause like you say, it would be a lot less, bad than a lot of the other people he's pardoned.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can let all the January 6th people off, you can let the Tiger King off. Let him run his zoo.
Let him run. It can only be stuffed animals now. He's not allowed to have get any permits to have exotic animals. But I would love to see him run. I don't think
he ever had a permit.
No, that's true. But I mean, he was also on camera, and he did a couple of reality shows before Tiger King, because did the whole he was in Louisiana, right?
I don't know. Could be somewhere down there.
Louisiana, or it had to have been Louisiana, because it wasn't Louisiana. Maybe Mississippi. I don't know.
Right. And he was making this big deal about what a hick he was, but he was marrying this man, and he's married two men, and that was so shocking. And we're like going, okay.
Yeah.
Why are you freaking out? Okay, it's just for this show, so you never know what the story's about. Yeah, he wanted publicity so bad.
Yeah,
but all he wanted was publicity. It was like his third try at some sort of documentary show about his life.
And that was the thing, is I remember watching that, and I was like, this guy is you could write an entire sociology paper on him, because he's so bizarre. And this obsession he had with Carol Baskin, and I'm like, who is this diva? Like, and then like you find out that he like was dating the guy that ended up like blowing his brains out, like, but like he was married to the other guy, and like the guy that like accidentally shot himself was also like straight, I guess, like ostensibly.
Right.
The whole thing is so crazy.
And that kid's mom was still hanging out with the Tiger King after all that happened. And you're like, going, honey, you're, yeah. She needed a hug bad, and she needed to be hugged and then scooped into the car and driven away.
She needed someone to hold her hand and like look her dead in the eye and just say a couple things she needed to hear, because that was rough.
Right. What are you still doing here? Yeah, I mean, your son is gone, but you're still sitting here. I don't know. To me, that was just, but
yeah.
But
what else, you guys?
You need to watch Chimp Crazy and then get back to us.
I will absolutely watch Chimp Crazy. I will put it. Was it on Netflix?
I think it was an HBO, actually.
I will add it to my list right now.
You probably can get it almost anywhere, but wow, she's magic. From the moment they start her on the camera, you're looking at that hair and those lips that she's have blown up, and you're like, ooh,
yeah,
this is going to be a good ride.
Yeah. Well, for all my talk of dissing like reality shows, one of my guilty pleasures for a while was like Animal Planet had this show, and it was more like you can almost say it's like a cop show almost, but it was like all these people that had wild animals, as pets, and they all say the exact same thing, talking about that my leopard's not going to eat my face off. They all basically say that, right? Like,
my alligator's tame.
All these experts would tell them, you can't keep this animal. It's going to kill you someday. It's like, oh, no, you don't understand. My tiger loves me. My tiger's not going to eat my face off. And they all say that, and they all got killed in this show. Everyone got eaten.
Oh, yeah. No, we had a guy in my neighborhood. I say that loosely because I live out in the country. But like we had a guy growing up in my neighborhood who kept a bear, like a big brown bear, in his backyard, like in like a fenced in cage situation that was like probably 10 by 6. And they were like the county was out to his house several times being like, sir, you will die. Like this, like, and I guess like in the state of Indiana, it's totally legal to have a bear as a pet. Like there's like, fine. Okay, great. But he had this bear in his backyard, and he like, and then the kid who I went to school with, like he came to school one day and they were like, yeah, my dad's in the hospital because the bear like slashed his like chest open.
Oh my gosh.
One of these people had a Komodo dragon that was their pet. And it was the classic, like my Komodo dragon loves me. My Komodo dragon's not going to kill me. Well,
your Komodo dragon doesn't have feelings. It's a dinosaur.
No, it does not have feelings. No. And, so the guy was missing like for a while, and they finally did like a, whatever you call it, the check. They do like
a wellness check.
They did a wellness check on him. And
he wasn't well, I bet.
This dragon had been munching on him for like a week. And
dragon was well.
There was like half of him left, but the dragon was just like, I'll save this part for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just munching him up.
That's one of those things. I look at people that keep reptiles as pets, like where they have like full blood, like snakes are one thing, but like that's still like weird for me. But like I look at reptiles and I'm like, no one really talks about how I wholeheartedly believe that those are like just dinosaurs that have evolved. Like you cannot tell me that these Komodo dragons are not like of this world. Like it's so there's no way I'd keep one of those as a pet. Like, no way.
There's nothing pet like a reptile. Reptiles aren't cuddly. No. They're not fun to pet. They don't. No. They don't fetch.
They care about you less than a cat does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like they feel weird, and like I've never.
And you have to feed them live animal. But if you are keeping a list, I also highly recommend Cat Dancer.
Cat Dancer?
Cat Dancer. And it's about two Cat Dancer. It's about two ballet people who were ballerinas, man and a wife. And they decided to bring tigers into their act. And
found it. Yeah. On Amazon, there it is. There we go. That's on the list.
There you go. And it's boy, that story took some turns. You're like going, wait, what?
Yeah. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. There was a couple
Okay.
that yeah.
I can't wait.
That's another one that, oof.
Just when you think you know what's happening.
Right. Exactly. You're like, who's that?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Cool. What else? Do you guys have anything else on your list to throw at the people?
No.
I think
I think
I've exhausted my list for tonight. At least I got like 25 things, but nothing interesting. Nothing worth talking about.
More politics.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can come back on whenever you want. I'm gonna need to fill in a couple more spots before Emma comes back. But this has been such a blast. Like, plug your show. Tell the people where they can find you.
So This Week in Outrage is a podcast you can find on any of your players. You can go to outrageoverload.net is our main website where we kind of have all the serious stuff we do, but also the silly stuff. The silly stuff's a little harder to find, but it's on there. You can reach out. But yeah, This Week in Outrage is on Spotify and Apple and all the places. Same with my Outrage Overload show. We also do I do Substack, so that's you can get that from there if you like to read stuff more than listen to silly stuff. You can read my stuff. And then, that's pretty much it. All my contact info is on there. So fill all of our contact info. So you have some idea you'd like to talk about. We do our show live on Sunday nights. So you can actually chat with us live on Substack. So if you want to participate, you can just join our Substack and we go live every Sunday night.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Do you have anything to plug?
No.
Okay.
I'm back in town. I've missed a couple shows, but I'm back in town, so I will be.
I've been saving stuff up for Sunday.
I know. I've been saving stuff up too. So that show may go a little long.
Yeah.
I will listen live. I can't wait. This is going to be so cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Travis.
Awesome. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
And I'm wondering if I can get a
appreciate it.
swig mailed to me.
I'll get a swig.
Yeah, but they have the recipes up there, so we might try that for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Beautiful.
But I'm also going, I've got all the rest. I've got all the ingredients. So hey.
All right.
And keep drinking your Diet Dr. Pepper.
I can do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, from Indy to wherever, we love you and thanks for listening.